Long ago, in a small, enchanted forest nestled at the edge of the North Pole, a baby was found in a wicker basket under a pine tree. The forest nymphs, guardians of this magical realm, discovered the child and named him Nicholas. They raised him with love and care, teaching him the secrets of nature, kindness, and joy. As Nicholas grew, he became curious about the world beyond the forest. On his 18th birthday, the great elf elder, a wise and ancient being, gave Nicholas permission to visit the human villages nearby. It was there that Nicholas witnessed poverty, sadness, and the struggles of the people during the harsh winters. Touched by their plight, he decided to dedicate his life to spreading joy and kindness. The first toy, Nicholas began crafting wooden toys for the village children. He carved horses, dolls, and spinning tops, pouring his heart into each creation. At first, he would visit the village at night, leaving toys on doorsteps. The children's laughter the next morning warmed his heart, and soon, tales of the mysterious toy giver spread far and wide. The birth of the reindeer. One winter, Nicholas stumbled upon a group of young reindeer caught in a snowstorm. He sheltered and cared for them, and they grew to trust him deeply. Among them was a particularly strong and swift reindeer named Dasher. Nicholas trained the reindeer to pull a sled, which allowed him to deliver toys more quickly. Over time, Dasher was joined by other reindeer: Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Meeting Mrs. Claus. During one of his deliveries, Nicholas met Anya, a kind-hearted baker who shared his love for bringing joy to others. They fell in love, and Anya joined Nicholas in his mission. Together, they established a cozy workshop at the heart of the enchanted forest. Elves from far and wide came to assist them in toy making. The gift of immortality. As the years passed, Nicholas and Anya's deeds caught the attention of the spirit of Christmas, a celestial being who embodies the essence of giving and love. Impressed by their unselfishness, the spirit granted them immortality. This ensured they could continue their mission for centuries to come. Nicholas was henceforth known as Santa Claus, the eternal bringer of joy. Modern-day adventures. Over time, Santa's operation expanded. The elves developed advanced techniques to craft toys, and Santa's sleigh was enchanted to fly around the globe in a single night. He also established the naughty and nice list, encouraging children to be kind and considerate. Though times have changed, Santa's mission remains the same: to spread joy and remind the world of the power of love, generosity, and wonder. Every Christmas Eve, Santa sets out on his magical journey, his sleigh guided by Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, to deliver gifts to children everywhere. As Santa's fame spread across the world, the number of children waiting for gifts each Christmas grew exponentially. Managing such a monumental task became challenging, even with the help of Mrs. Claus, the elves, and the reindeer. Santa knew he had to adapt. He called a meeting in the grand hall of his workshop. "My friends," Santa began, his voice booming but warm, "we must innovate to bring joy to every child. Let's work together to make this the most magical operation the world has ever known." The elves got to work. They built enormous, enchanted machinery to mass-produce toys while maintaining the personal touch Santa insisted on. Meanwhile, Mrs. Claus designed a global logistics system, ensuring every gift would arrive on time. Magic combined with ingenuity made the North Pole workshop the most efficient place on Earth. One year, Santa realized he had been neglecting the children in the Southern Hemisphere, where Christmas falls in the summer. Wanting to ensure no child felt left out, he embarked on a special adventure to understand their traditions. On his journey, Santa learned about warm weather festivities, like beach picnics and barbecues. He adapted his approach, delivering gifts wrapped in lightweight paper and occasionally swapping hot cocoa for iced lemonade. Santa even donned a thinner, breezier version of his red suit to keep cool in the tropical heat. His visit not only brought joy, but also inspired him to embrace the diversity of celebrations worldwide. From the lantern-lit streets of Asia to the snowy cottages of Scandinavia, Santa tailored his deliveries to honor local customs. One particularly challenging Christmas Eve, Santa encountered an unexpected problem. The magical star that guided his sleigh disappeared from the sky. Without it, he and the reindeer were lost in a swirling snowstorm. Desperate, Santa called out for help. To his surprise, the spirit of Christmas appeared, glowing faintly. "Santa, the star dims because the spirit of giving is fading in the world," the spirit explained. "You must reignite it before you can continue your journey." Santa decided to make a detour, visiting not just the children but also their parents and communities. At each stop, he shared stories of kindness and selflessness. Slowly but surely, the star's light returned, growing brighter with every act of kindness inspired by Santa's message. By the time he finished his route, the star was shining brighter than ever, guiding him home to the North Pole. That night, Santa realized that his role wasn't just to give gifts, it was to inspire others to embrace the true spirit of Christmas. Santa's mission became so vast that even with his magic, he couldn't do it alone. He began recruiting helpers in every corner of the globe. These Santa's helpers were kind-hearted individuals who embodied the spirit of giving. In Italy, the Befana, a kindly old woman, joined forces with Santa. In Holland, Sinterklaas worked alongside Santa to celebrate St. Nicholas Day. In Japan, he collaborated with Hotaisho, a cheerful figure associated with good fortune. Through these partnerships, Santa celebrated cultural traditions. One winter, Santa received a letter unlike any he'd seen before. It came from a young boy named Leo who wrote, "Dear Santa, thank you for the gifts, but this year I don't need any toys. I just want my family to be happy again. Can you help?" The letter moved Santa deeply. Determined to help, he visited Leo's family disguised as a kind old man offering assistance. He brought neighbors together who helped prepare their home and shared meals during the holidays. One year, as Christmas approached, Santa received an unusual message from the spirit of Christmas. "Santa," the spirit said, "there's a place where children's laughter has not been heard for centuries. It is a forgotten land, hidden beyond the northern lights. They have never known the joy of Christmas. Will you go to them?" Santa, ever eager to spread joy, prepared for the journey. He harnessed his reindeer and set out with his trusty sack of gifts. The northern lights danced like ribbons of magic in the sky, guiding him to a remote and mysterious realm. When he arrived, he found a quiet, snow-covered village where time seemed to stand still. The people were wary and solemn, living under the shadow of an ancient legend that forbade celebration. Determined to bring joy to this forgotten land, Santa befriended the villagers, listening to their stories and sharing his own. He learned that their ancestors had once celebrated joyously, but a terrible storm had destroyed their festivities. Santa decided to change that. He organized a grand festival, showing the villagers how to find joy even in the simplest of things: a shared meal, a warm fire, and the laughter of children. By the time he left, the village was alive with song and laughter. The year without snow. There came a year when the North Pole faced an unusual problem: no snow. The elves were puzzled, and the reindeer struggled to prepare for their annual flight. The enchanted weather systems had faltered. Santa called on Aurora, the keeper of the skies, for help. "The balance of nature is off," Aurora explained. "The world's joy is dwindling because people are too focused on their own struggles to think of others." Santa and his team devised a plan. They sent magical snow globes to families around the world, each containing a simple message: share your joy with someone else this Christmas. When the snow globes were opened, they released a sprinkle of magical snow and a warm reminder of the spirit of giving. As people shared gifts, meals, and kind words, the snow began to return to the North Pole. By Christmas Eve, the workshop was blanketed in white once more, and Santa's sleigh took off with renewed vigor. The North Pole's new guardians. As Santa's legend grew, he realized he couldn't shoulder the responsibility alone forever. He began training a group of trusted apprentices, young elves, humans, and even animals from across the magical realms. Each apprentice was chosen for their kindness, courage, and creativity. Among them was Maribel, an elf with a talent for creating toys that sparked imagination, Tobias, a human boy with a deep love for animals, and Luma, a snow fox with the uncanny ability to sense when someone needed a little extra magic. Santa taught them not only how to craft toys and navigate the skies, but also how to inspire others. Over time, these guardians of Christmas began helping Santa behind the scenes, ensuring every corner of the world felt the warmth of the season. The time Santa took a vacation. One spring, Mrs. Claus noticed that Santa was growing weary. "Nicholas," she said gently, "you've spent centuries spreading joy. Maybe it's time for a little rest." Reluctantly, Santa agreed to take a short vacation. He and Mrs. Claus set off on a journey to explore the world beyond the North Pole. They visited bustling markets, serene beaches, and quiet mountain villages. Everywhere they went, they found inspiration for new ways to bring joy. One fateful winter, as the elves were busy preparing for Christmas, an icy wind swept through the North Pole. It was colder and sharper than anything they had felt before. The workshop's magical fires flickered and dimmed, and the reindeer shivered despite their thick fur. Santa sensed something was wrong. The spirit of Christmas appeared, troubled. "The Frost King has awakened," it said. "He dwells in the farthest reaches of the Arctic and holds dominion over the harshest winters. Long ago, he lost his faith in humanity's kindness, and now he seeks to freeze the world in eternal frost." Santa knew he had to act. Gathering his bravest companions, Mrs. Claus, the elf engineer Tink, and his loyal reindeer team, Santa set out to find the Frost King. Their journey took them through blizzards, across icy plains, and over treacherous mountains. At last, they found the Frost King in a glittering palace of ice. He was tall and imposing, with eyes as cold as the Arctic winds. "Why do you disturb my realm, Santa?" the Frost King demanded. Santa spoke with his characteristic warmth. "I've come to remind you of the joy and kindness that still exists in the world." Santa showed him magical snow globes, each containing scenes of people helping one another, families reuniting, and children laughing with glee. The Frost King's icy heart began to thaw as he watched. Moved, the Frost King relented. "Perhaps I was wrong," he said, his voice softer now. From that day on, the Frost King became an ally of the North Pole, using his powers to create dazzling winter displays and ensuring safe travel for Santa's sleigh. One Christmas Eve, as Santa was delivering gifts in a small, snowy village, his sleigh hit an unexpected snag. One of the runners had become lodged in a chimney, leaving Santa stranded on a rooftop with his bag of gifts. Try as he might, Santa couldn't budge the sleigh. The reindeer tugged and pulled, but the sleigh remained stuck fast. As Santa scratched his head, a curious child peered out of a nearby window. Recognizing Santa, the boy quickly roused his family and neighbors. The villagers, armed with ropes and ladders, worked together to free the sleigh. Santa was amazed by their determination and teamwork. Once the sleigh was free, Santa addressed the crowd. "Thank you, my friends," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "Tonight, you've reminded me that the true spirit of Christmas is found in helping one another." From that night on, Santa made it a point to visit the village every Christmas, leaving special gifts to honor their kindness. In Santa's workshop, there is a bell said to have been forged from the first snowflake and the first spark of joy. The everlasting bell hangs in the workshop's great hall, chiming softly as the elves work. It is said that as long as the bell rings, the world's belief in Santa will endure. One year, however, the bell's sound began to fade. Concerned, Santa consulted the spirit of Christmas. The bell is powered by belief, the spirit explained. If the world loses faith in magic and wonder, its sound will vanish. Santa decided to embark on a special mission. He visited schools to share stories, stopped by orphanages to bring laughter, and appeared in bustling cities to remind people of the wonder of the season. Slowly, the bell's sound grew stronger, its chime echoing through the North Pole once more. Santa realized that his greatest role wasn't just to deliver presents, but to keep the spark of wonder alive in every heart. One particularly bright Christmas Eve, as Santa soared through the skies, he noticed something extraordinary. One December long ago, Santa received a startling message from Krampus, the mythical creature known for punishing the naughty. The letter was unexpected but intriguing. Santa Claus, our paths seldom cross, but we share the same domain, children's hearts. I believe it's time we talk. Meet me at the winter summit under the aurora. Krampus. Santa, ever open to understanding, agreed. Accompanied by Mrs. Claus and his head elf, Alabaster, he journeyed to the summit where Krampus awaited, his dark fur blending with the shadows of the snowy forest. I've grown tired of being the villain, Krampus admitted. While you bring joy to the good children, I am left to frighten the naughty. But punishment breeds resentment, not redemption. There must be a better way. Santa considered this. You're right, he said. Perhaps we can work together to guide all children, encouraging kindness instead of punishing missteps. Thus, the Great Christmas Treaty was forged. Santa and Krampus would collaborate. Santa would offer rewards for good behavior, and Krampus would provide gentle reminders to those who faltered. Together, they created programs like the Kindness Countdown, where children were encouraged to perform acts of goodwill leading up to Christmas. From then on, Krampus became less of a shadowy figure and more of a mysterious helper, working with Santa to foster kindness and growth. As Santa's workload grew with each passing century, he realized he couldn't protect the spirit of Christmas alone. He decided to form a team of magical beings, each representing an aspect of the holiday season. Jack Frost, the mischievous spirit of winter, joined to ensure every snowy Christmas was magical. Lady Holly, the guardian of nature's festive beauty, brought vibrant greens and reds to the season. Father Time, the keeper of New Year's Eve, ensured the passage into each new year was filled with hope and renewal. Noel, the star-born spirit of light, kept the Christmas star shining bright, guiding Santa on his journeys. Together, they became the Winter Guardians, working behind the scenes to protect the magic of the season. While Santa delivered joy, they ensured the world was ready to receive it, balancing nature, time, and wonder. One particularly chaotic December, the elves at Santa's workshop were overwhelmed. Orders had doubled due to the growing population, and the long hours left them tired and cranky. Finally, the head elf, Alabaster, approached Santa with a simple statement: "We need a break." Santa, though surprised, listened carefully. He called a meeting with the elves, Mrs. Claus, and the reindeer. Together, they brainstormed solutions. Mrs. Claus suggested forming regional toy hubs with magical helpers stationed around the world. The reindeer offered to assist in distributing supplies. Even Santa rolled up his sleeves to take on extra crafting duties. The elves, feeling heard and appreciated, agreed to return to work under better conditions. From that year on, Santa established regular celebrations, shorter shifts, and magical enhancements to make the elves' work easier. This experience taught Santa the importance of caring for his team, ensuring that joy flowed not just to the world, but within the workshop itself. One Christmas Eve, as Santa was about to take off, he noticed a stray snow owl perched on his sleigh.